All right, welcome back. In the slide deck for this week, there's a lot of information about the history of domestic intelligence, domestic security, and foreign intelligence. And I need you guys to all understand what those terms mean and have a good grasp of some of these examples. Domestic security and counterintelligence is something that has traditionally happened here in the United States. It's been happening since before your parents were born, and is ongoing now. Now, we tend to call domestic security we tend to call it homeland security. But there's some great examples in the slides, going back to the Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act. In 64 and 65 actually gave the FBI legislative authority to investigate crimes against African Americans, where federally that was not their purview before. The counterintelligence programs, or COINTELPRO, have happened throughout the Cold War. And once again, we're looking at not only foreigners on U.S. soil, but Americans on U.S. soil. And there's been a lot of controversy both ways regarding that over the years. But these are just some examples, and there's more on the slides. The important thing to remember is that, the homeland security is a new term for something that we've been doing for a very long time. And it really has the domestic intelligence side and the counterintelligence side part of it. It also has the foreign intelligence side. And prior to the creation of the Department of Homeland Security, the domestic counterintelligence side and the domestic security side was the purview of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, as a federal law enforcement entity. They're the only ones who are authorized to operate here inside the United States. And since the late 40s, the foreign intelligence side is the purview of the Central Intelligence Agency. It's important for you to know that the charter of CIA, the Charter of Central Intelligence, does not allow them to operate on on U.S. soil. Okay, they can't operate here in the United States. That's actually against the law, and they don't operate here. Work on domestic security here in the United States is done by the FBI, not the CIA. Unfortunately, that undermines the entire concept of the show Homeland on Showtime, which pretty much shows the CIA running around Virginia and running it like they own it. That does not happen. It's an entertaining show, but should not be used as the basis for anything factual. Let's see. Okay, so while the CIA is prevented by charter and by law to operate here in the United States, they can liaise with and coordinate with both federal and local law enforcement and provide their expertise. And they do this quite a bit, particularly in the major metropolitan areas, New York and Boston. They work with those metropolitan police departments as well as the FBI to provide their subject matter expertise on terrorism, terrorist organizations, cultural issues, and things like that. So they have a domestic role, but they're not allowed to do their traditional counterintelligence work here in the United States.